Good morning, dear children. I think all of you are fine. Okay, well, then let us continue the lesson. Respiration in organisms. Respiration in organisms. And last class we have discussed about breathing and the process involved in breathing, that is inhalation and exhalation. Then the difference between inhalation and exhalation. Do you remember that? Okay, then about breathing rate, then the human respiratory system, then what are the important parts of human respiratory system. You know what are the important parts of human respiratory system? Actually they are nostrils, then trachea, then bronchi and lungs. These are the important parts of human respiratory system. Listen to it. And today's class we are going to discuss about the gaseous exchange. Okay, about the gaseous exchange and where does gaseous exchange occur in the body and how the gaseous exchange takes place. Okay, that all we will discuss today's class. Okay, then what do you mean by gaseous exchange? Actually, it is the process by which it is supplies, constantly supplies the blood with fresh oxygen and the carbon dioxide, and the most of the carbon dioxide that is removed from the blood. That is actually the gaseous exchange. Okay, gaseous exchange is the process by which it constantly supplies fresh air to the blood and they remove most of the carbon dioxide that present in the blood. Okay, that is through the process of gaseous exchange, the fresh oxygen that enters into the blood and the carbon dioxide that present in the blood is removed. That is actually the gaseous exchange. Okay, gaseous exchange is the process by which it supplies blood with fresh oxygen and most of the carbon dioxide is removed from the where actually it is from the blood. That process is actually called the gaseous exchange. Okay, then let's see where does the gaseous exchange occur in the body. You know, when we breathe in, actually the air that fills the alveoli of the lungs. Okay, you know what is mean, last class also we have discussed about alveoli. Actually this is the alveoli. Actually the air sacs in the lungs, that is actually called the alveoli. The air sacs in the lungs, that is called what? Alveoli. And when we breathe in, the fresh air that fills the alveoli of the lungs. Okay, that is when we breathe in, the alveoli that is filled with the fresh air. Okay, and the air in the alveoli that is called the alveolar air. Okay, the air present in the alveoli that is called the alveolar air. Okay, that is when we breathe in, the alveoli that is filled with the fresh air and the air that present in the alveoli that is called the alveolar air. Okay, and each alveolus, that is the singular form. Okay, each alveolus is made up of extremely thin tissue. Okay, each alveolus is made up of extremely thin tissue which is surrounded by actually blood capillaries. Okay, each alveolus is made up of extremely thin tissues and it is surrounded by what? Blood capillaries. Okay, and here the blood capillaries are actually very narrow blood vessels. Okay, blood capillaries are actually very narrow blood vessels with extremely thin walls. Okay, here the blood capillaries are actually made up of very narrow blood vessels with extremely thin walls. Okay, then what is actually this arrangement that brings the alveolar air and the blood very close to each other. Okay, and this arrangement actually that brings the alveolar air and blood very close to each other. Okay, here each alveolus is surrounded by very thin tissues. Okay, and also the blood capillaries. Okay, each alveolus is made up of extremely thin tissues and which is surrounded by what? Blood capillaries. Okay, each alveolus is made up of very thin tissues and it is surrounded by blood capillaries. And this blood capillaries are very narrow blood vessels. The blood capillaries are very narrow blood vessels with extremely thin walls. Okay, and this arrangement, what is the advantage of this arrangement actually? Actually, this arrangement that brings the alveolar air and blood very close to each other. Okay, and this arrangement brings the alveolar air and the blood very close to each other. Okay, and when the fresh air that enters the alveoli, oxygen in the air actually passes into the blood. Okay, when the fresh air enters the alveoli, what actually happening here is this oxygen in the air that enters into the blood in the capillaries. Okay, and it binds with the red blood cells. Okay, actually the function of red blood cells is to carry the fresh oxygen to our entire body. Isn't it? Okay, and at the same time the carbon dioxide that passes out of the blood to the alveoli. Okay, and this entire process is actually called the gaseous exchange. Okay, and when the fresh air that enters the alveoli, what happens to this? What happens here? The oxygen in the fresh air that enters into the what? Enters in the blood. Okay, you know, actually the blood contains red blood cells, and these cells actually that carry the fresh oxygen to the entire body. At the same time, you know, carbon dioxide that present in the blood actually that enters into the alveoli. Okay, and this entire process is actually called what? The gaseous exchange. The entire process, that is the oxygen in the fresh air that enters into the blood. Okay, and the carbon dioxide that present in the blood that enters into the alveoli. Actually, this is the process of gaseous exchange. This process, the process is actually called what? Gaseous exchange. Okay. Okay, after the gaseous exchange, the blood that carries oxygen to every cell of the body. Actually, blood that carries oxygen to every cell of our body. Then inside the cell, actually oxygen reacts with the glucose to produce energy. Okay, that is already we learned. Okay, inside the cell, the oxygen that reacts with the glucose to produce what? Energy. Okay, inside the cell, oxygen reacts with the glucose to produce what? Energy. Also, carbon dioxide and water are also produced during this process. Okay, then along with the energy, actually carbon dioxide and water is also produced. Okay, and this carbon dioxide is actually removed from the, and both carbon dioxide and water actually they are removed from the body. Okay, actually after the gaseous exchange, the blood that carries oxygen to every cell of the body. Then inside the cell actually oxygen that reacts with the glucose to produce energy, and carbon dioxide and water are also produced during this process and are removed from the body. Okay, the carbon dioxide and water are also we have to remove from the body. During respiration actually carbon dioxide is produced. Okay, then let's see how the carbon dioxide is removed from the body. How the carbon dioxide is removed from the body. As the blood that flows through the body, body, actually the carbon dioxide formed during respiration that passes into the blood and binds to the red blood cells. Okay, as the blood that flows through the body, the carbon dioxide formed during respiration that passes into the blood and it binds with the red blood cells. Okay, and this blood actually that reaches heart. Okay, the blood that reaches heart, and the heart that sends the blood to lungs. Okay, the heart that sends the blood to the lungs. You know, actually in the lungs, the carbon dioxide that detaches from the red blood cells, okay, and enters the air sacs, that is alveoli. Okay, and the carbon dioxide is removed from the lungs when we breathe out. Okay, when we breathe out, actually the carbon dioxide is removed from the lungs. Okay, in this way, actually the carbon dioxide is removed from the body. Listen it. And here, you know, as the result of respiration, actually carbon dioxide is produced. As the blood that flows through the body, the carbon dioxide that passes into the blood. Okay, the carbon dioxide that passes into the blood and actually it binds with the red blood cells, that is RBC. It binds with the red blood cells. Okay, and this next, this blood actually goes to heart. Okay, this blood actually goes to heart, and this heart that sends blood to the lungs. Okay, the heart then sends blood to the lungs, where in the lungs actually the carbon dioxide that detaches from the red blood cells. The carbon dioxide that detaches from the red blood cells and engages the air sacs. Now the carbon dioxide is where? Actually in the air sacs, that is in the alveoli. That is in the alveoli. That is when we breathe out, the carbon dioxide is removed from the body. Okay, when we breathe out, the carbon dioxide is removed from the body. Okay, as the blood, I'll repeat once again. As the blood that flows through the body, the carbon dioxide formed during respiration that passes into the blood and binds to the red blood cells. Okay, and this blood reaches heart, and the heart that sends blood to the lungs. Okay, the blood to the lungs, and where it detaches from the red blood cells and enters into the air sacs. And when we breathe out, the carbon dioxide is removed from the body. All of us know the living organisms that need energy. Okay, the living organisms actually they need energy. The body of all living organisms work all the time. Okay, the body of living organisms actually work all the time. To work, the body needs what? Energy. To work, the body needs energy. Also, living organisms need energy to keep themselves warm. Okay, living organisms also need energy to keep themselves warm. Or to work effectively, the living organisms need energy, and also living organisms need energy to keep themselves warm. Then how the living organisms obtain energy actually? They obtain energy through the process of what? Cellular respiration. Cellular respiration. Living organisms obtain energy through the process of what? Cellular respiration. Okay, in last classes also we have learned actually the respiration, the respiratory process actually that involves breathing, then gaseous exchange and cellular respiration. Okay, in first class itself we have learned the respiration that involves three important processes. The first is breathing, then second is gaseous exchange. The two things we already learned, and the third is actually the cellular respiration. Cellular respiration. Actually, it is the process of breaking down of food in the cells with the release of energy. Okay, the process of breaking down of food in the cells with the release of energy, that is called the cellular respiration. Okay, what do you mean by cellular respiration? The process of breaking down of food in the cells with the release of energy. The process of breaking down of food in the cells with the release of energy is called cellular respiration. Actually, it occurs every cell of an organism. Cellular respiration occurs in every cell of an organism. Listen it. And here the cellular respiration is of two types. Actually, it is first is the aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. And the second is the anaerobic respiration. Okay, cellular respiration is of two types. First is the aerobic respiration and second is the anaerobic respiration. Okay, the cellular respiration is of two types. First is aerobic respiration and the second is anaerobic respiration. Let's see aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. You know, almost all kinds of plants and animals obtain energy through aerobic respiration. Okay, almost all kinds of plants and animals obtain energy through aerobic respiration. Actually, in this type of cellular respiration, organisms use oxygen to release energy from glucose molecules. Okay, in this type of cellular respiration, that is an aerobic respiration, organisms use oxygen. Aerobic respiration, organisms use oxygen to release energy from glucose molecules. Okay, that is they need a constant supply of oxygen. For the aerobic respiration, organisms need a constant supply of oxygen. Okay, and in aerobic respiration, organisms use oxygen to release energy from glucose molecules. That is why they need constant supply of water, oxygen. Okay, and the animals that obtain glucose by digesting food in the form of what? In food actually it is rich in carbohydrates. Animals obtain glucose actually. The animals obtain glucose by digesting food which is rich in what? Carbohydrates. And plants, you know, plants obtain or plants make glucose in their leaves by the process of what? Photosynthesis. Okay, plants make glucose in their leaves by the process of photosynthesis. That is during actually aerobic respiration, that can be represented as glucose plus oxygen. That gives water, carbon dioxide, water and energy. Okay, glucose plus oxygen, that gives water, carbon dioxide, water and energy. Okay, actually what are the things that produced during aerobic respiration? Carbon dioxide, water and energy. Okay, carbon dioxide, water and energy are produced during aerobic respiration. Suppose when you work hard or when you run, our body needs more energy. Okay, that is when we are doing hard work, our body needs more amount of energy. And to obtain more amount of energy, the body has to burn large amounts of glucose. Okay, to obtain more energy, the body has to burn larger amounts of water, glucose. Okay, and to do so, our body needs extra supply of oxygen. Okay, for that our body needs what? Extra supply of oxygen. Listen it. When you work hard or when you run, our body needs more energy. To obtain more energy, the body has to burn large amounts of what? Glucose. For that, the body needs extra supply of oxygen. Isn't it? And for that, you breathe faster. Your heartbeat beats faster to supply what? More oxygen to the body. Okay. When you breathe faster, your heart beats faster to supply what? More amount of oxygen to the body. Okay, and here the energy released during aerobic respiration is also used to keep our body warm. Okay, the energy released during aerobic respiration is also used to keep our body warm. Okay, anyway, actually the aerobic respiration that is actually takes place in the presence of oxygen. Okay, the respiration that takes place in the presence of oxygen, that is actually the aerobic respiration. And the second type of cellular respiration is actually the anaerobic respiration. Second type of cellular respiration is the anaerobic respiration. Okay, at times the cellular respiration that occurs in the absence of oxygen. Okay, if the cellular respiration that takes place in the absence of oxygen, then such cellular respiration is called anaerobic respiration. The cellular respiration that takes place in the absence of oxygen, then that type of cellular respiration is actually called the anaerobic respiration. Okay, you know what are the products formed in aerobic respiration? That thing you know. What are the products formed? Here carbon dioxide and water. Okay, carbon dioxide and water are the products formed during after aerobic respiration. Okay, but here in the case of anaerobic respiration, the products formed is actually formed are carbon dioxide and alcohol. Actually carbon dioxide and alcohol. Okay, then what are the products formed after anaerobic respiration? It is actually carbon dioxide and alcohol. Okay, and here this during anaerobic respiration, actually it produces less energy compared to aerobic respiration. Okay, anaerobic respiration that produces less energy compared to what? Aerobic respiration. Okay, and so we can say this aerobic respiration is that is more efficient process. Okay, the aerobic respiration, when we compare this aerobic and anaerobic respiration, here the aerobic respiration is more efficient process. Okay, here the anaerobic respiration that produces less energy compared to aerobic respiration. Okay, so we can say this aerobic respiration is more efficient process. Okay, and here when we consider anaerobic respiration, here yeast, you know, yeast, actually it is a kind of microscopic fungi. Okay, actually it respires through anaerobically. Okay, yeast, actually it is a kind of microscopic fungi which respire through anaerobically. That means it do not require oxygen. Okay, it do not require oxygen for respiration. Okay, yeast, actually it is a kind of microscopic fungi which respire through anaerobically. That means it does not require oxygen for its respiration. Okay, that is about what anaerobic respiration. Actually we respire through what aerobic respiration. Okay, we respire through actually aerobic respiration, but sometimes this anaerobic respiration that will happen. Okay, then let's see how does this happen. Okay, at times while playing games such as football, then basketball and hockey, then that time we overexert our muscles. Okay, while playing basketball, football, etc., we overexert our muscles. Okay, that time our muscles fail to receive enough oxygen. Okay, that time our muscles fail to receive enough oxygen. Then that time we respire anaerobically for a very short time. Okay, that time we respire anaerobically for a short period of time. Okay, actually what happening here is that time actually this anaerobic respiration in us that produces actually lactic acid. That produces what? Lactic. Okay, that produces what? Lactic acid. Okay, and the person that person develops actually cramps temporarily. Actually cramps means muscle contraction. Okay, that is when we respire through anaerobically, actually that process produces what? Lactic acid, and this leads to that person develop cramps temporarily. That is the contraction of muscles occurs temporarily. Okay, and it is forced to and he is actually forced to rest for a while. Okay, then while that person rest, actually the muscles that got enough oxygen. Okay, while that person take rest, actually at that time the muscles collect enough oxygen and begin to respire it begins to respire normally. Okay, in the that time what happens is actually this lactic acid that break down. Okay, and the corresponding cramps disappear, and the corresponding cramps, what happens to cramps, that will disappear. Okay, that is in a short even for a short period, that time we can respire through water anaerobically. Okay, that means while we are playing games such as football, then basketball, etc., that time we overexert our muscles. Then that time what happens, our muscles fail to receive enough oxygen. Okay, that time actually we respire through anaerobically for a short period of time. Okay, and this produces lactic acid, and we actually that person cramps temporarily. The person actually develops cramps temporarily. Okay, and it is forced to rest for a meanwhile. Okay, and when the persons actually take rest, the muscles collect enough oxygen and begin to respire normally. Okay, that time actually the lactic acid that break down, actually the cramps gradually disappear. Isn't it? And that is about this aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So today's class we have learned about gaseous exchange. Then where does the gaseous exchange takes place in your body, and how does the gaseous exchange that takes place? Okay. Also we have learned cellular respiration and the two different types of cellular respiration, that is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. There is aerobic respiration that takes place in the presence of oxygen, and here this anaerobic respiration that takes place in the absence of oxygen. Okay, that is the end of today's class. Thank you, children.